Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am Amit Kaushik, Chief Marketing Officer for Altec Group. Welcome to a new edition of Global Economy and Graphite Electrode Industry December 2022 and Outlook 2023. One of the major problems the world is going through is inflation, which is at a multi level high in many countries, and central banks are maintaining high interest rates. Purchasing Managers Index from the IMF shows a contraction from July to November 2022 for some of the major economies. December data is yet not out. As the war in Ukraine unfolds in the current year, uh, the World Uncertainty Index has surged as compared to 2021. If we talk about the Social Unrest Index, despite several notable recent events like COVID and Russia-Ukraine war, the index has declined since 2020 and remains below pre-pandemic level. As per IMF, global economy faces a tougher 2023 on a slowdown in the US, Europe, and China. China scraps zero COVID policy and embarks on a chaotic reopening of its economy. China's growth in 2022 is likely to be at or below the global growth in the last 40 years. COVID infections are likely to further hit its economy in coming months. Another cut to China and global economic outlooks may be seen later this month. US economy is the most resilient and may avoid contraction likely to afflict on third of the world's economies. America's Fed officials last month projected it will breach the 5% mark in 2023, a level not seen since 2007. China's property market is set to be for the modest demand recovery in 2023, lowering of mortgage borrowing rates, down payment, and relaxing home purchase restrictions in top tier cities likely. Major cities like Beijing, Shanghai saw a rise in sales compared with the last year's New Year holiday. For many private developers, being absent for the land market last year also means that we may have fewer projects for sale in 2023. Brent crude prices started dropping since June 2022. Recession concerns outweighed fears of low inventories in the US and fear of an increase in COVID cases in China despite the removal of zero COVID policy continued to darken the demand outlook. Iron ore prices saw an uptick since November 2022 on the prospects of robust demand and tight supplies. The Newcastle coal futures consolidated around $400 per month. Coal demand in the EU and India led to a surge in imports to generate electricity. Metals and scrap show signs of a decrease in their pricing amid fears of a demand sapping global recession since March to April 2022. Indian ferrosilicon prices remained stable at the beginning of January 2023 amid modern demand due to low buying ahead of the New Year holidays. Coming to freight rates in the shipping industry, spot rates for shipping containers showed signs of stabilizing from a 10-month plunge, heading into a seasonal lull in global trade around Chinese New Year. About the world crude steel production from January to November 2022, year on year, The world crude steel production decreased by 3.7% in November. In November, the Middle East increased by 11.6% year on year, and Asia and Oceanic region increased by 2.7 year on year. And these were the main drivers of the world steel production. Looking at the top 10 steel producing countries, India's steel production has been showing resilience in 2022 and is the most one of the fewest countries in the world reporting an increase in year to date steel production, 6% year on year. China is at a negative growth of 1.4%, coping with a slide in demand. Talking about graphite electrode industry, graphite electrode prices have softened consequent to reduced steel output, demand, and major energy constraints, but could have bottomed out. From November 2020, the needle coke prices were on a constant rise up to October 2022 and have now stabilized. Depending on the actual restart and assuming pin production pace of the Mexican manufacturing plant of Graftech, the prices and graphite electrode supplies dynamics would remain affected in the course of 2023, not normalizing before the end of the first half of the year, and will follow an upward trend till the normalization is reached. Let me briefly introduce AIBDA, Artificial Intelligence, Big Data Analytics, the most advanced solution by AST Technology, the engineering company of Altec Group. It is a customized service designed to enhance the capability of enterprises to understand and control the increasing complexity of industrial processes, optimizing their overall business performance. I suggest you visit our website ast-artificial-intelligence.com and listen to our latest podcast called Episode 2. And it is a 10-minute lasting question and answer session explaining the main characteristics of our solution. It is interesting to hear. I think we should not miss it. That's all for the day, and we would be back with the new edition of the Market Outlook next month. Thank you very much.